Okay, guys, I am actually here running late, very, very late, in fact. I even got to shut that off because I've got another 5 minutes left on that. Stop that video I was listening to. I love listening to these guys that the cops harass the hell out of, and then they turn around, file very legitimate lawsuits. First, they file complaints. And when the complaints go nowhere, which, we investigated ourselves and we found we've done nothing wrong, much like what's going on with Doge. We've investigated ourselves, we've run our own audits against ourselves and found we've done nothing wrong. And meanwhile, we find, Elon and his group of young geniuses get in there and find that, how many millions of dollars have gone to terrorist groups? You know, buying concrete was supposedly sent to them for building homes, and instead of building a home, it was used to build a underground bunker in Gaza. So, they were given money for food, or they were sent food, and any civilians who tried to get it were punished, pushed away, shoved away, or just flat right shot. And the food all went to the military guys, and of course, funds that went to supposedly to support the people of Gaza ended up in the bank accounts of the leaders of Hamas and you know what I mean. We call them Swiss bank accounts because that's used to be the terminal. That was where most of these illegal guys went to, because Switzerland, being a neutral country for most of its existence, didn't turn over bank account figures for individuals. There's no way to find out if somebody even had a bank account with them. But they're doing offshore banking now in little islands and everywhere else. But they've got not millions, but billions stashed in these offshore bank accounts. Their wives and their children, they may end up going into a underground bunker, but they're carrying a $10,000 purse or handbag with them as they go up underneath. Yes, there is actually a photograph of one of the leaders of Hamas, his wife. I believe it was a $10,000 handbag that she had. Meanwhile, that 10 grand could have fed a couple dozen of the people, actual starving people from Gaza. And of course, the media and the left wingers and the United Nations, they want to put the blame for the starving people not on the leaders of Hamas, but on Israel. It's Israel causing the genocide. It's Israel causing the people to starve. It's Israel's fault that in trying to get at a terrorist bunker, that bunker was built underneath a hospital or built underneath a school. They're shooting off their rockets from the rooftops of hospitals and schools and apartment complexes. And when Israel targets these missile launch sites, well, Israel's the bad guy because, good morning, Ramen. Israel's the bad guy because, of course, it damaged that hospital, school, or apartment complex. Ramen, I did send you a link. It's in your DMs. Like I said, I'm running late. I had to take the wife to work this morning, drop off her car at the mechanics, take her to work, then go back to the mechanic, fill out the paperwork, and then come home and then set up my infusion. So I actually had like 2 minutes to get the stream started on time. I don't want you. Oh, you really don't want me to? Okay. Well, you're always welcome, but never a necessity, never a requirement. You know, uh, I had started working on, but this weekend it was quite. I spent most of this weekend in bed. It turns out I was trying to figure out why my right heel has. And remember, I've got neuropathy in my legs and in my feet, and so if I got pain in my legs or in my feet, it's really an issue. And my right heel really hurt. I could not stand to put any weight on it unless now if I was wearing my shoes because I've got cushioning in the insoles and everything, I could do that. Or if I'm standing on one of those, we got those big cushion pads in the kitchen at the stove, the sink, and the prep counter. So if I'm standing there, no problem. But if I'm, walking across the tile or wood floors, man, my heel just hurts like a son of a gun. So I had the wife check on it yesterday because, after 2 days of this being just pure agony, I had her look up underneath my ball of my foot. Somehow or another, I managed to get like a 3-inch cut across the bottom of my right heel. So I called out to the doctor this morning to ask him to do if I can get an appointment to have him take a look at my foot to see if it's got an infection or something going in it. Oh Lord! So they just carried, they just had to carry your dispossessed body throughout the rest of the dungeon, huh, Ramen? Or did they leave you there? Uh, did they just leave you there, and then when you go next gaming session, you got to try to catch up with them? We did that to a guy one time. He called up like 15 minutes or so before we were supposed to start gaming, and everybody else was there, and we'd already eaten the first pizza, and the second pizza was scheduled to be delivered in 4 hours. Because when we gamed, we started at noon. And it would run until at least noon the next day. So we'd order a pizza for lunch, order another pizza to be delivered about 7:30, 8 o'clock that night. And actually, we ordered two pizzas because one of them would go in the refrigerator and the other one would be left, would be the one we munched on. The only hard rule we had was no alcohol. No alcohol allowed at the gaming table. Same way at the poker game I went to every Friday night. No alcohol allowed. And that irritated a couple of the guys that wanted the game and play poker with us, but they're like, "No, we don't need anybody getting drunk and stupid and then cry that they lost all their money because they made stupid bets because they were drunk." or get mad and start doing stupid stuff because they lost all their money because they got drunk. So, sodas only was allowed at the poker table. I mean, it wasn't that much. It was a quarter $50 table. But even at that, I mean, it wouldn't be unusual for us to have $50 or $60 sitting in the pot. Well, hey, morning, Data. It was your birthday yesterday. Well, happy birthday to you. I hope you had a good one. Spent some time with family and or friends. Right, and yes, Ramen, you're right. When everybody is drunk and stupid, but not when money is involved. When money is involved, then people take that too personal when they lose all their cash. Well, I've worked many of my birthdays, so I'm I'm sorry it wasn't a good one for you. But we where my wife has gotten mad at me is when I've had to work on our anniversaries. Because even though we've been married for 30 some odd years, let's see, this will be our 35th anniversary this year. Um, she still takes anniversaries very serious. You know, um, not so much that we've got to spend a lot of money, or anything like that. But she wants me home on our anniversary. She wants us to, uh, celebrate our anniversary correctly, and go at least go out to a Mexican restaurant for dinner. She doesn't like flowers. She doesn't want me to get her flowers because flowers die, and she doesn't want to get anything for the anniversary that's going to die on her. She is whatever I get her for her anniversary's got to be something that's going to last for years. And she's got all of the little anniversary things lined up in different areas around the house. So no, not plants, because plants die too, Data. Plants die too. Now I have gotten her, and I don't know where she's got it at because it used to be over there on that counter, but it's not there now. But I've gotten her. Uh, there are live roses that have been preserved and they're in glass. So I got her one of those live roses like that one year. So, it'll never die. And I mean, it's already dead, but it'll never go black, curl up, drop its leaves, and have to be thrown away. It's preserved. No, not stuff that I used to get her before we even got married. And I had a real hatred for Kmart, but she really loved that Christmas bear with the year on its foot, embroidered in on its foot. And every year for 25 years, I bought her one. And after I bought her the 25th one, she said, "That's it, no more. I've got no place to put them." So now I don't do plastic plants either. And our anniversary is coming up. It's 2 months out. I don't know what I'm going. I haven't even figured out what I'm going to do. Don't even know what I'm going to do for her birthday because I got her anniversary in May, then her birthday in June. And she takes both of those very serious. The only thing she doesn't mind me cooking ramen because I do 95 to 100% of the cooking in the house. Every now and again, well, like on Tuesdays when I'm taking a nap before going into work, she either stops at her favorite drive-through to get something to eat, or she'll come home and warm up some leftovers that I purposely keep in the refrigerator, or she'll make herself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But yeah, she's got a big tub full of these Christmas bears. And right now they're sitting out in the garage. She's just like, she doesn't even want to break them out for Christmas anymore. But this house is smaller, so she doesn't have the place to put them. Our old house, the living room was really huge. So one end of the living room next to the fireplace was all lined up with all of her teddy bears, or all these bears. They weren't small little hand-sized bears. These were ones when they were sitting down were about 2.5 foot tall. Yeah, she likes strawberry. I keep strawberry jam for her. She doesn't like strawberry jelly. She wants strawberry jam. So I keep that in the house. Like I keep apple butter and strawberry rhubarb jam in the refrigerator for myself. So, but yeah, that's. But your birthday there, Data. I hope that you celebrated. At least you celebrated when you could your trip around the sun, and hopefully next year's will be better. Like I heard somebody once say, may this year's birthday be your best you've ever had, but not the best you'll ever have. And that sounds good. Every year your birthday should be a little bit better. The celebration should be a little bit better than the previous one because you are celebrating another trip around the sun, which I look forward to completing that trip every year. You bought a slice of cake for tonight? All right. Being as my birthday's in October, I can always get my uh, pumpkin pie and have that for dessert. And the wife has learned that half that pie is mine, not to be touched. She gets to have a quarter of it, and the rest of it's her and I will have a pie together, and then whatever that's left over, the rest of that's mine. Oh, that's sweet. When you say they're stupid close, like Monday and Tuesday, I always felt kind of sorry for my older sister because her birthday was December 23rd. And my parents did their absolute best to celebrate her birthday and give her birthday presents and everything on her birthday and not tell her that she's got to wait until Christmas when she'll get all of her gifts. Well, that's nice of them. But, I still sort of felt sorry for her because, she knew that, one or the other was just slightly chinted because it's like my birthday. That growing up, I never celebrated my birthday on my birthday. It was always a week later, which never, after a while, it never bothered me. I imagine when I was really young, it bothered me, but as I got older, up in the uh, later preteens, then of course into my teenage years, it just didn't bother me as much. But anyway, uh, my wife watched the ball game last night, and I really feel there was the rumor out there. And Elon, as far as I know, didn't do anything to squash the rumor that he'd spent $40 million buying 5 ads on the Super Bowl to highlight what the Doge group had found so far. And those ads never appeared. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? I will have to check into that. Um, that he is moving fast. Like, did y'all see the video when he was flying to the Super Bowl? They're flying over the used to be named Gulf of Mexico. And I guess as they were flying over, the pilot announced that they're flying over the American Gulf. And that was, let me see if I can find that video. Uh, Pilot announces Gulf of America. Okay, yeah, here we go. And here's the video of it. I they I'm signing a Ah, son of a gun. PBS, you piece of dirt. What the hell, PBS? Well, let's see if Sky News does it better. Oh, this is really irritating the daylights out of me. Is it my internet that's causing all these issues? I don't know.
The first time in history flying over one is currently in international waters. The first time in history flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
I want to play that one more time.
Air Force One is currently in international waters, the first time in history flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
All right. Thank you, Sky News. I appreciate Sky News for doing that. PBS, kiss my butt. That really irritated the daylights out of me, PBS doing that. I don't care about their store. Close that tab. Close that tab. I'll find a place to download it. But yeah, the Trump had just signed the proclamation at just before that happened, and he declared February 9th Gulf of America Day. So we'll see how this looks on the news or on international maps. Let's take a look here. Let's see. So let's see. Map of USA. And no, that doesn't have it. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. There it is, folks. Gulf of America. Dun, dun, dun. Gotta love it. Okay, let's see here. As is normal, this is Monday, and I gotta go change out my syringe. So, Ron, this is why I needed you here today, so that you could talk while I change out my syringe every half hour or so. So I could mute my mic and y'all don't have to hear this machine doing this humping and pumping. All right. Get the air pushed out of this one. Da, da, da. There we go. Yeah, even though all this stuff is going just underneath my skin, it's not going into any blood vessels or anything, I still don't like having any air in my syringe when I'm doing this, because I just don't want that air. I can't help but get some air in it, but get as little air as possible. But anyway, back to the game yesterday. I didn't watch it. My wife did, because like I've said before, I've gotten tired of football. It's like yesterday, they made a big deal. I was singing this quote unquote black national anthem. I'm sorry, there's only one national anthem, and football of all sports should know that. But they've got to appease the they got to appease people. Now, if black people are allowed to have their own national anthem to be sang at the ball games. All right. How about American Indians? Why aren't they allowed to have their own national anthem? Because you would think, given the left wing, this is stolen land speech that they give all the time, that they would be very pressed to having a American Indian national anthem. And then there would have to be not only the American Indian national anthem, but then the Chinese and Japanese and Hawaiian and all these other minorities would all have to have their own national anthem sang. Then of course, you'd have to have the Muslim anthem if there was. This is nonsense. No, I did not. Well, now the guy who sang the real national anthem, supposedly he did a great job. I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to it. But supposedly he done a pretty good job. Halftime, the overwhelming consensus from what I've heard is halftime absolutely sucked. Hey, morning, Neil. From what I understand, the overwhelming consensus, like I said, is halftime was absolutely horrible. One post on X, somebody supposedly said that they couldn't understand a single word being sang because they were doing it. Whoever was singing was doing it all in Ebonics, evidently. And some elected official somewhere, female, said that was good because the halftime show wasn't for you white people, and it was YT people, not WHIT. No, racist as hell. But once again, certain groups of people get away with their racism, and other people can't say anything that even comes close to it. Let me see here. General Zod and others have left me comments. Oh, interesting. What comment? Oh, there's something on X. Oh, an argument this woman left saying that women should always get the booth, men should always get the chair. And my response to that is, I sit wherever I can basically see the door, and I just put CCW next there. It's and I do when the wife and I go out for dinner. I try to, wherever they seat us, I try to sit where I can see the majority of the dining area and the entrance and exits. And if I can have my back to the wall, so much the better. But that's just the way I was taught growing up. My dad instilled that into me. It's like, because back then we didn't worry about CCWs in Ohio. Most of the places that we did go out to eat, on the very, very rare occasions we went out to eat, my dad always had his 38 with him. And he just taught us from the get-go, this is where you sit. This is how you sit. And my mom taught my two sisters that, when my dad says down, you get down on the ground. You don't ask who, what, when, where, why. The response was, my dad said down, you got down on the floor. And you didn't crouch on the floor, you laid flat. And my youngest sister, she would argue about it. Well, what if my skirt rides up? And my dad said, what are you worrying about? You worrying about him shooting you in the butt? I understand yesterday's game. What's her name? Swift. She got booed. According to the videos I saw this morning, she got booed. And when they shot to the camera on the jumbotron there showed Trump, everybody started cheering. And I know that made quite a few lefties mad because they were saying they couldn't wait to see Trump booed. And ironically, Trump is the first sitting president ever to attend the Super Bowl. That's amazing. But that did bring me back to thinking of a book that I read. Well, my dad read it, and it was, nope, that's not it. So let's see if it's this. Yeah, a book called Black Sunday by Thomas Harris. And I read this book when I was a kid. My dad had bought it and read it. And then, of course, I read almost everything else that he'd read. And that's right. They did make it into a movie with, oh man, who was that? Movie. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Bruce Dern. That's right. Robert Shaw and Bruce Dern starred in it. Bruce Dern was the crazy guy. You need to read this is one of those books I highly recommend. I've never seen the movie, but this is one of the books I recommend if you like a good book, like Day of the Jackals, another book I recommend. The older books that have been forgotten about. Day of the Jackal and Black Sunday are two of the ones I recommend. Because they're great thriller, not so much who done it, but how are they caught? Because from the beginning who done it, especially in Day of the Jackal. And if you watch the movie, do not watch the movie with with the remake movie with was it 2024? Oh, that's TV series. I didn't know they made a TV series out of it. Movie. Okay, the original movie is 1973. Okay, when was the remake then? 1973. That's the one I always really do recommend. Um, Come on, get past. When was the remake? Scroll up. I'm scrolling up to forget remake. 2023. Even that doesn't seem to be right. That's a TV series. Remake. Bruce Willis. That's who I'm thinking of. 1997. Yeah, that one is absolutely horrible. Bruce Willis, Richard Gere, and Sidney Poitier, and it is absolutely terrible. Do not watch it. Instead of taking place in Europe, it takes place in the United States and Canada, and it is absolutely a horrible movie. I'll have to see if I can track down the TV series and see if it's any better, but I doubt it. Hey, afternoon, Fury. How you doing today? Today is being kind of I, I had a very busy this morning. I didn't have time to get anything set up, and so I'm just sort of talking about different things that popped to mind. Talked about the football game yesterday. That the wife watched in the living room, and I went to the bedroom, elevated my feet, and watched YouTube videos. Didn't even turn on the TV in the bedroom. Probably should have watched something. Uh, I should have went and watched Amazon Prime. They've got a new uh, Alexander Cross series. And I watched the first episode. I told you all about it. That other than it being shot way too dark, it seemed to be an interesting beginning to the Alex Cross series. Now, you can't tell a whole lot about how a show's going to go just by the first episode. You've got to give them a few episodes to get things together and flesh out a few things. Sorry about that, guys. I really wish we had gotten the channels, the videos that everybody said we were going to have from Elon Musk. All the Swifties are angry that her boyfriend from what I understand, played absolutely crap ball yesterday. Couldn't catch a thing. My wife came back to tell me that he dropped his first three passes in a row. Between him and Mahomes, they couldn't hit squat, which, you know, I don't care whether or not he caught the passes because he doesn't seem to be as arrogant as Mahomes is. But anytime somebody shows off the arrogance that Mahomes is showing off, I love to see them fall flat on their face. Yeah, I didn't watch the sport. Like I said, I didn't watch it. I went back to the bedroom and watched YouTube videos, listened to audiobooks, and just relaxed. But my wife felt the need to come back and inform me about what was going on. Really, like could care. I did make up a decent chicken sandwiches, though, for barbecue chicken sandwiches for us to have to eat. That way she could watch the ball game and eat in the living room. Uh, and then I ate back in the bedroom. Funeral sandwiches. These were a hit. Sliders, of course. Yeah, that's one thing I've got to do is unsub from from these places I get recipes from, because I probably got 1,000 recipes that they've sent me that I haven't even looked at to see if I want, to print them out. And there's no sense in me keep getting more and more and more of them when I don't even have time to look at them, let alone print them, decide which ones I want to keep and print them out. But if you do want to get some good recipes, Taste of Home has got a great letter that they send out every day that has got lots of recipes, and I can usually pick out one or two a day that I think I'd be interested in making. But after doing that for a few months, your recipe binder gets so full that you'll never make them all. And that's the point I'm at now. This is my recipe binder. I've got three 2-inch or three 3-inch binders full of recipes. One just full of beef and pork. One of them is full of just um, chicken and other proteins. And then the third one's only a 1-inch binder. No, it's a 2-inch binder. I'm sorry. And it's divided up between bread, pasta, and desserts. So the really fattening things. Okay, I'm seriously got a frog in my throat causing me to cough here this morning, guys. The left is really, like I said, let's see here. Let me pull up my stuff here. Oh, this is TikTok. I don't want TikTok. I meant to open up X, not TikTok.
you telling me
My car is small.
I can fit in this car?
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What am I gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel it. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in.
Rather than de- Rather than deport all of the illegals, what they should do is they should offer them a deal where if they hunt down 5 child predators, then they can get their papers, right? And then we call the program Alien versus Predator.
Holy crap, I have been muted. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Could you guys hear that that audio of that of the Alien versus Predator? Dang it.
Rather than deport all of the illegals, what they should do is they should offer them a deal where if they hunt down 5 child predators, then they can get their papers, right? And then we call the program Alien versus Predator. I'm saying, brother, it's a good plan. It's a good.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, this guy's mad that Elon's called him a dick. Elon Musk is attacking me because here's a post that Elon made on X. It's telling him not to be a dick. And where you're being a dick, mister, is the fact that, and I don't understand how anybody on the left can get mad about this. Millions of dollars are being spent overseas in other countries, not on providing food, not on providing shelter, but either helping the terrorist known groups that are labeled by international organizations as terrorist groups like Hamas and Al Qaeda, feeding money into them, or basically, deviancy. Thousands of dollars for a comic book on trans people, or a play on trans people, or an opera about trans people, and DEI program. And I understand the left loves the thought of DEI. All right. But if you're going to go into a Muslim country, how are you going to convince a country ran by Sharia law that they should be allowing women to have positions of authority when the women aren't even allowed to show their face or show their hair or leave the house without either their brother or father's permission? And then they have to be escorted. Do you think DEI is going, thousands of dollars being spent trying to convince a Muslim-ran country? Do you think that's actually going to happen? Yeah, or drive. Yeah, DEI is not going to work. And yet, the one video here, and this isn't a video that I reposted the first video of a series of videos by this guy. Going into Cairo to the USAID building. All right, there's another video. I don't think I posted it. He found the empty binders in the alleyway behind the USAID building. I imagine all the papers got shredded and thrown away. Oh, now this woman just absolutely pissed me off. Did y'all hear about this woman?
Look at that flag.
This is at a California park. And this woman tore down the American flag, threw it on in the mud,
Look at that flag.
and put up the Mexican flag.
Is it? You can't say I'm disrespecting. No, esta es mi tierra. Esta es mi tierra. Esta es mi tierra.
Come here.
Okay, my I'm going in peace and you're hurting me and you're gonna regret it when you okay. Touch me, motherfucker, and when your kids die. When your kids die, you're
She's threatened them. Now she's threatening their family. She threw the American flag on the ground and put up the Mexican flag. I honestly, I wish somebody, I wish they'd put up the translation of what she was saying in Mexican or Spanish.
in my hand and they already know. You don't need to take me.
Stop her.
Take me. Take me. Take me.
Take her down.
Take me, motherfucker. I'm
She's
Mexican.
all right. She's all right. Good. We'll get her. We'll get her. We gotta help her.
Domestic motherfuckers. And they're gonna pay. My dad is gonna kill you and all your family. You think it's a joke until it's
My dad is going to kill you and all your family. She's claiming to be Mexican, not a U.S. citizen. So let's see her passport.
You're hurting my hand and I already told my dad.
Okay, cool. Hey,
You think it's a joke?
hey, relax.
You're gonna set me free.
Relax.
No. I said you want turn off my car. Turn off my car.
Don't
This is
tell
my
me
land.
what to do. Get the out
Then
of
get the out of my land. That's Mexican land. That's Mexican land.
No, it's not. It's American land.
Let my father kill you.
Your ancestors sold. Your ancestors sold land to the United States. So, no, it's not Mexican land anymore. It got sold. Oh, that's Letitia. That was something I wanted to look up. Willis. Property. Now, it's a rumor kicked out. Or was it, let me look up and see if it's Letitia James. It may have been Letitia James. Yeah, here we go. Remember, Letitia James is the one that brought the charges against Trump for overvaluating the value of his property. Okay. And it turns out that a Virginia property that Letitia James owns has a $150,000 mortgage. It has a $150,000 property. That's what it's valued at. But she's got a mortgage debt of it of over $400,000. The property marked as an investment shows no income in her latest disclosures. So supposedly, then also she has property in New York and Brooklyn that she claims is worth between $3.25 and $3.5 million. Meanwhile, the city assessed it as under $1 million. So remember, she's the one that brought charges against Trump, saying that he overvalued like Mar-a-Lago and his other properties. That was that civil suit that the judge found him guilty of. He had no trial. The judge just said, yeah, you're guilty. And the trial that they did have was over how much he had to pay in fines. And supposedly now Letitia James is being caught up in under the same charges, which I think would be great. Let's see here. Okay, yep. Back over to this. Trump removes the security clearances of Biden, Letitia James, Anthony Blinken, and Alvin Bragg. Now, removing the security clearance of Biden, that one there, remember, one of the first things Biden did when he got in office was remove Trump's security clearance, because he was that threat to democracy. Even though all of his classified documentation and everything was actually very well secured. Now, Biden, on the other hand, Trump removed his security clearance, but Biden has already had a prosecutor say that he's an old man and he's too old and mentally soft to defend himself. So if he's too mentally incapacitated to be able to defend himself, that should automatically remove him from having a security clearance. And just as an example, when I was in the Air Force, I had a top secret clearance because I was on courier status. So in order to be a courier, you had to have top secret clearance. They almost pulled my clearances because I talk in my sleep. I had to record myself at night, set a tape recorder next to my bed, and record myself every night and turn the tapes in the next day to the hospital, to the psychologist at the hospital, where they would listen to them to determine whether or not I should keep my security clearance if I was talking about anything classified in my sleep. Yeah, exactly, Fury. Being hoisted on their own petard. No, I didn't show the one with the care representatives there, Fury. So, Biden, you can lose your security clearance for a lot of things. And having dementia should definitely be one of the reasons why you lose your security clearance. I mean, if I could lose my security clearance simply because I talk in my sleep, that's not, going the other way around is no big secret. Okay, here I am again. Sorry, guys, for making all this noise while I'm doing this. Sitting at the kitchen table, changing out syringes. Come on. Pull that needle off. Okay. Get that one in there, get it started. And when I took my wife's car, or when I was at the mechanics, filling out the paperwork on my wife's car, because we dropped it off on her way into work. I followed her in. We dropped off the car before they opened. And then I took her to work, got the keys, then went back to the mechanic and waited on them to open up, and then filled out the paperwork. Found out my truck is due for its sixth. Since I only drive it usually 2 days a week, unless I've got doctor's appointments or something else going on. I usually end up getting my oil changed every 6 months because I use synthetic oil in mine. I could go every 6 months on it. Now, I've still got, if I went by mileage, I still got 10,000 miles till my next oil change. But I won't put that 10,000 miles on it, and so I'll just turn around and do the 6-month oil change. And the only reason why I do, again, I'm old school. I was taught every 3,000 miles or 3 months, but that's before the invention of synthetic oils. And I really trust my mechanic. He tells me I can go 6 months with synthetics. So that's what I do, 6 months on synthetics. My wife used to hold conversations with me, Raman. Not, being a courier duty in the Air Force, the only time I was actually going to do a courier job, that most times it was just between bases, I was at one base, the next base was at 30-40 minute drive down the road. And usually it's just taking paperwork back and forth between the two bases. That's all it was to it. I'd get in a government vehicle with the driver, drive to one base, drop off the paperwork, have them sign for it, bring the receipt back, turn it in. That would be the end of it. The only time there's going to be a fun one is going to, I think it was going to Saudi Arabia. And one of the officers in the unit was also courier status. You have one officer and one enlisted. And he bumped me. He wanted, since it was going to Saudi Arabia, it was going to be like a 5-day trip. Fly in, commercial, do what needed to be done. Then they'd put you up in a hotel for a couple of days until the next flight back. And he ended up, and He says the most miserable 5 days that he ever spent. Because they put him up in a nice hotel, but no television, no books, and no booze. 5 days for this pilot to go 5 days with no booze, he was absolutely miserable. Now, I never went on a courier duty. I mean, I never traveled anywhere without at least my Seika Game Gear in my pocket and a couple of video games to play. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right, Fury. All you do is, you don't see anything. You don't have any time to do anything because you're stuck in one place the whole time. So let's see, what else did I have here? Oh, is that it? Is that all X is showing that I've posted? I know I've posted more than that. Oh, Megyn Kelly. Yeah, Megyn Kelly had this really well.
You got to see it.
They're very offended and upset about a guy named Big Balls, a guy who goes by the monitor Big Balls. It's perfect. That is threatening to Democrats. They can't stand that. They've been trying to shrink.
Could you imagine? I mean, when the internet first started, back when I first got introduced to the internet, back in '84, when I came back from Germany, and back then it was mostly going from board to board. You had to get permissions from board. Sometimes you had to buy like a membership fees to join the board. And for most of them, I didn't have a problem, giving them $5 for 6 months access, because they had their servers that they had to maintain, and multiple phone lines coming into their home. He was born in '85. Damn. I come back from Germany in '84. And some of the names people had, I mean, some of the women, big tits, little tits. Of course, something like Big Balls would have been, there'd been a half a dozen people named Big Balls. So, I mean, these are kids. I mean, you did stupid stuff. But remember, this guy is probably 15 or 16 years old when he created his username Big Balls. Those of us that have been on this thing for a few decades, we wouldn't do something like that. But you expect a teenager to do something like that.
Shrink down the male testicle for a very long time into where all we have is men running around with man buns and little sandals and scooters. They don't like big balls. They don't like a lot of testosterone. They want feminized men. And what we have here is a pair of actual men in Elon and Trump who are not afraid of them, who will not be bending the knee, who will be busting up organizations like this or spending our money.
The first time I heard that, you said, I kept expecting her to say that these men were going to be busting up their balls. Because everybody was having fun saying balls here, all across the media. I mean, MSNBC, every person they had to say it, big balls at least 3 or 4 times. Because it's one of the few times they could get away with saying it without breaking some stupid rule.
Money recklessly on all left-wing causes And that's what's got them really, really rattled. They are afraid of big balls and in more ways than one. And thank God over on our side of the aisle, big balls are back.
Yes.
This is the solution to all our problems.
I just want you to say it a few more times.
I stand with big balls.
Yes. Then you stand with guys like me. Going into
Yeah, stand with guys like me. Yep, guys with big balls. Now I don't have the video on it here. I didn't post it, I don't think. There's let me see if I even downloaded it. If I downloaded it to my phone, I can upload it in a hurry. Let's see here. Office, my files, videos. No, I did not. There was a woman walking in front of a South African. Let's see here. Johannesburg 6. Let's see if that was it. No. And there was a video of a woman standing in front of a place in front of Johannesburg, is some sort of hospital dealing mostly with sexual issues, that was losing funding as part of the USAID funds. Put that in there and see if that helps any. No, that doesn't. Anyway, the medical center had to shut down because of the money being shut off from USAID. And she's standing there saying, yeah, America needs to give us back this money so we can reopen this hospital or this clinic. Yeah, you're right. Big Ball's going more viral than Haktua Girl did. You've used Furikin since your BBS days? Yeah, I've been using Shroom one way or another since my BBS days. Yesterday, going back in time here, yesterday had our grandson and took him out to lunch. He wanted to go to Whataburger for lunch. So, okay, fine. So we took him down to Whataburger and he got his grilled cheese sandwich. And I mean, good God, I could have made him a grilled cheese sandwich for a third of the price at home. But he wanted to go to Whataburger for it, so that's fine. And as we were leaving, there was a car parked next to mine with a Senior Master Sergeant stripes on it and a little decal with First Shirt diamond on it. And we're getting my grandson in the car, which takes a few minutes. And then the guy gets out of that car and turns around. It was my old First Shirt, my old First Sergeant. I recognized him as soon as the man retired in 1992. I've not seen him since he retired. We used to call him the Hammer. Because if you got out of line, man, he hammered your ass. He had no compassion for you whatsoever. And obviously he didn't recognize me because, gotten fat in a beard. But as soon as I told him my name and which unit I was in, I didn't even finish saying the unit name and he remembered me. And not because I got in any trouble with him, but I was that guy that the first sergeant knew my name because I was the one coming up with hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. So yeah, if you're that's a good point. How does a hospital close immediately after, days after funding is cut off? That is a good point. But yeah, there's been a lot of videos released out there, and again, I don't have one. I wish I'd saved him. There's that one guy from Africa. He used to be one of the country leaders that had made the comment that there was, why are we sitting here crying that we're no longer getting American money? We don't pay taxes in America. We can't tell them that they have to give us, that they owe us this money. We shouldn't be that reliant on handouts from other countries. I mean, he made a lot of really good points. No, that's not him either. I'm looking at the videos that I have downloaded to see if I could find it. Oh, that's that one, LeBron Smith tearing up LeBron James over his son. Okay. But anyway, if I find that video, I'll post it. If I find them again. But we've got to get control. We're or is it $4 trillion in debt or $40 trillion in debt as a country? We've got people in North Carolina and Tennessee that are homeless thanks to a hurricane and a flood. We've got people in California that are homeless because of fires. Fires burnt their homes down. And our response to it is that if they qualify, they get $750 that they have to pay back or be taxed on. But meanwhile, we're giving money away to other countries for DEI programs, for operas and comic books. We're giving money to groups that realistically, the money's being funneled straight into terrorism. Not millions, but billions of money. Yeah, the people in Maui, they're given $700, but they couldn't go back and build up their own damn houses. The government's trying to buy up all this land to sell it out to other companies. We're funding rebel groups. Like, Daya Sands, we're trying to destabilize other countries by funding their rebel groups. And he's not wrong. CIA's been doing that for very long time, since before Kennedy era. Oh, that's Fury. You're exactly right about that too. So I mean, we've got our own people here that need money, need homes, need food. People say, well, we've got U.S. veterans living on the streets, and that's true. That's true, we do. But as a veteran, all right, if I'm living on the street, I'm not only do I want to be taken care of if I can be helped, but I want the guy next to me or the gal next to me who's not a veteran helped. Now, are there going to be people that just can't be helped because they're so doped up on drugs? And we've seen the videos of them. We've seen those videos. They just stand there all hunched over, bent over, slouched over on a in a folding chair or on a park bench, or sitting on the ground. They look like zombies. Now, can they be rescued? Should we be trying to rescue them? Yes. Because those are people. That's humanity. That's our people. That's somebody's brother, somebody's son. Maybe even somebody's husband or wife. Like that. And I'm not excluding women from these things, because we've seen the women like that too. You got women that's turned themselves into prostitutes to get the next bit of drug. They deserve to be helped if at all if they can be helped. And that's, I've got no problem with helping people in other countries if our own people are being taken care of. And that's the problem. Our own people aren't being taken care of. All we're doing is allowing them to crap in the streets and make tent cities that when the premier of China comes over, the governor and the mayor crack down and clean up the streets and disinfect them, so that the premier of China doesn't see or smell the fact that there was a bunch of homeless there the week before, using the side of the buildings as urinals and toilets. No, you can't. You're right. You can't save someone that doesn't want to be saved, but how do you know that they don't want to be saved? And yeah, you're right, Fury. You've got the people that just noped out of society. They've become the hermits. That, or back in the day, they'd go out and to the top of a mountain and make a log cabin and just live there off the land, away from society. But they can't do that anymore because one, there's no place outside of reach of society and the law. And two, they don't have the skills required to survive on their own like that. They'd end up dead the first winter, either starved to death or frozen to death. So what do, they live on the streets, panhandling and doing what they can for an occasional dollar. Exactly, Data. You've got both. You can't treat them as an endangered species and leave them to their natural habitat. You're exactly right. You got to reach out a hand and try to help the ones that can be helped, the ones that want to be helped. And some of them, they don't know what they want to be helped until they're off their drug of choice. So you got to force them off their drug of choice and get them sober and try to pay attention to whatever their mental issues are. And with the veterans, some of it may be some form of PTSD. Or it may be that they just, done with having anything to deal with authority figures. I'm going to disagree with you when you say most. I'm going to say that there are, yes, I'm not going to deny that some of them are out there like that. And they are self-medicating with their drug of choice. But some of them may have, my drug of choice when I was self-medicating for pain was Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels and Jameson's when I was self-medicating for pain. I took a flask to work with me. And being as I knew where the cameras were and weren't, I knew where I could go and take a sip of my flask. But remember, I could drink a quart of Jack Daniels and still be stone cold sober. And in pain. You're right about, we've got a lot of problems here in the United States that if we were going to be spending money and helping people, we need to be spending the money to help Americans first. Families. Families, definitely. Now, in situations like what you're talking about there, Data, I am a firm believer. I've seen people do it. I'm a firm believer in these tiny hometowns. And cities don't like them. And when I say cities, I'm talking about the mayor and the town council or whatever other form of elected officials are. They don't like them. Yeah, I know AES data. And for individuals, not so much for families, but for individuals, those tiny homes are great. And the tiny home towns, where there's a dozen or 2 dozen of them set together on a plot of land, and everybody's responsible for everybody else. And it gives a place for people to try to get back on their feet and get steady again. Yeah. I would love to see, we got that lottery that hits $1 billion on more than one occasion. And somebody wins it, they're walking out the door $250 million in their pocket after taxes. I would love to see somebody take, part of that $250 million and buy a big plot of land near where it could be accessed and put up those tiny homes. For people to live in. So they got back on their feet. I just think it's a great idea. I really and truly do. But these are things that we should be doing for ourselves and our neighbors and the people in our communities, not sending money to dance troops to push transvestite the glories of being a transvestite, or funding education and health centers to mutilate young children's bodies and put them on drugs that prevent their puberty, prevent their bodies from growing as nature meant for them to grow. Oh, really? Boy, that'd be between 350 and $400 and $500 million after taxes and everything. I had a scam artist contact me over the weekend. I played them along until they asked for my phone number. I played along with them. They asked me how much money I needed to get myself set up. I told them, I said, 150K would take care of me. Give me 150K. That would pay off my house and everything, and I'd be good to go. And she said, well, that's not that much money. Are you sure you couldn't use more? I said, well, I can always use more. But realistically, I only need 150K to pay off all my debts, including my mortgage. And that would, then I've got enough residual income coming in, so does my wife would, that we'd be set for the rest of our lives pretty much. And then she asked me for my phone number. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm done playing this silly game with you. So I blocked her. Because nobody's just going to give you 150K. But I tell you what, $150 million though, yeah. that'd be scary. I would not know what in the hell to do if I had $150 million handed to me. I really and truly would not know what to do. I mean, obviously, I'd be out of debt and my son's house, and he'd be out of debt. My son's house would be paid off, everything else. My grandchildren would have trust funds set up so that they would get money when, certain stages of their lives. They'd still have to work, but they'd get money, some kind of money. Yeah, Data. As soon as bacon hit $100 a pound, there'd be a lot of other issues long before bacon hit that price. Now, one thing I would do, and I've already told the wife this, I would have a house built, and I'd still be here in Florida, and somewhere where I could have a hurricane shelter as part of it, and a room set aside that I could put firearms into, that I wouldn't have to worry about someone else breaking in the house and getting a hold of any of my firearms. And then the wife would have her diva den, and I'd have my man cave that I could put up my Star Trek stuff and my military mementos, and not feel like I'm taking over the family area. Yeah, you can. I mean, I've got an acquaintance that moved to Panama. He's up on a mountain side in Panama, living off his military retirement check. He retired as a senior master sergeant with 26 years in. And he moved down to Panama, and him and his wife, they didn't have any children. He's got a housekeeper that comes in. He said the drawbacks to it is internet absolutely sucks. And at least the last time I talked to him, which has been a couple of years, he said the internet absolutely sucked. And if he wanted to go anywhere, it was a pain in the ass, because he had to, even though he was Hispanic by birth, I don't know exactly where he's from, Panama, Ecuador, Mexico, somewhere, whatever. And, Spanish is his first language. He also has that little trademark that they could tell he was American. And he's always concerned about being kidnapped. So there are some drawbacks to doing that. Doing that, moving to a Central American country. Oh, and speaking of that, Trump evidently, and let's see if I can find a story on this. Trump evidently is pushing for South African not Visas. Let's see what that happens. Because refugee program. That's what it is. As of right now, something like 10,000 white South Africans are applying for refugee status in the United States because they are having their lands taken from them, and they are being even killed simply because they're white. South Africa's had a problem with race there for a very, very, very long time. And now the black majority has got governmental permission to go and take the lands of the white farmers. And if the white farmers resist, they're being hurt. Some are being killed. At least according to the news articles I've read and listened to. There have been some on the left muttering that Trump is being a racist for allowing the white Afrikaners to go for refugee status, while telling some of these, Hispanics people that they can't have refugee status. So I'm just bringing it up because that's something that has been sort of boiling under the news here for the past couple of days. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Fury. I remember that. Zimbabwe's farm production dropped drastically after they kicked off all the white farmers. So, but anyway, guys, I apologize for this being such a not distorted. No logic, no theme to today's stream. The wife waited until late last night to ask me to take her, to do these errands with her this morning. So I didn't do any prep work last night. And I apologize for this being the stream as it has been. But in a way, though, I sort of enjoyed it, having it being free-flowing with nothing in particular planned about. Discombobulated. Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, Silvar, good morning to you. So, but anyway, tomorrow's stream hopefully will be better. And of course, I won't be interrupting every half hour or so to go and put a fresh syringe in my infusion kit. But y'all have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. Be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. And we'll be back tomorrow.